Hello everyone, welcome to this course. Today we're going to be going over one of the most key principles of drawing comic book characters or just characters in movement. And the topic of today is dynamics, so dynamic poses. But we're not going to get straight into drawing anatomy just yet. One of the most important things that I do want you guys to learn is drawing gesture poses. And gesture is something everyone knows how to do inherently. Because if you ask somebody if they know how to draw, what's the first thing they say? Well, I don't know how to draw, but I can draw a stick figure. And that's basically all we're going to use today is stick figures. And you might be wondering, well, how is that going to help me get better at drawing? This is like base level drawing. And I will show you throughout this course why this figure will be so important to you later on in your future. So let's get right into it. Alright, for reference here, we're going to be using what I think is one of the best Spider-Man runs of all time, Mark Bagley's Ultimate Spider-Man. And for this first pose here, I'm going to show you how to use the stick figure in a way where you can find the line of motion, which is the flow of where everything is going. Not only the line of motion, but you want to capture the movement as well. You know, which is kind of the line of motion, but there's a little bit of nuance to it. Okay, so first thing I do is I start off with the head. And for the line of motion here, what way is the body bending? What way is it flowing in this panel here? So if you just break it down to the like I said, we're basically using stick figures for this. If you break it down all the way to the basics, this is essentially the line of motion. This curve here, right? So the next thing I would find is how the shoulders are sitting, which is they're kind of slanted like that. You can draw in like a little rib cage just to accentuate the body here, just so you can see. And like I said, gesture drawings you want to keep it very basic, very simple, just catching the motion and rhythm of it all. You have the pelvis right here, and this is the line of motion. Like I said, the body is traveling this way. So for the arms, I just said rhythm not too long ago. For the arms, I like to find the rhythm of the arm. So if the shoulder goes this way, then the bicep will flow that way, right? And then the forearm will flow around that bicep and tricep area. And for the hands, we can just do a simple, just kind of square kind of shape, right? So we have that flow there. And when I say rhythm, I mean everything is working together in tandem. So if something goes this way, something will usually go this way. If something goes this way, then something will typically go this way. And you could even use that as an arm, you know? So throw a bicep in there. You can see how it starts to build form. You know, so you got like a chest muscle right there. This is just an example. Let's keep going with Spider-Man here. So for the other arm, like I said, let's just catch the rhythm. One shoulder is going that way. And because the bicep is hidden right here, because the forearm is covering it, let's just go ahead and draw the forearm. How about that? Or at least the figure and the gesture of the forearm. So we see the hand is very flicked up like that. Like I said, for the hands, we're not doing too much there. We're just catching the gesture of it. And we have a thumb right here. Right. In the legs, let's see. The rhythm goes something like this, where the quad and the knee kind of round over this way, and then the calf catches like right here. And because there's a little foreshortening in the foot here, the foot protrudes more in front of the camera. Kind of like this, right? And for the other leg, I'd go about it the same way. And you're just catching the rhythms here. The rhythms and the line of motion. So, mind you, the quad and knee wrapped around like that. So I'd catch the calf right around here and just allow it to flow around this knee and quad area. And we can just do like a triangle for the foot, a triangle kind of shape. And just like that, you have a gesture for the Spider-Man here. So let's try another example. So for this one, the leg is a little bit in front of the face, right where the knee area is. So like I said, just start off with the head. Start off with the head, just regular kind of oval kind of shape, like that. So what does the line of motion look like? Can we capture the line of motion? That's where you want to start first. So the line of motion goes something like this. Kind of has that kind of shape to it, right? So you don't have to start off with the shoulders, but that's how I go about it, because I like to go ahead and section off my rib cage. Got your rib cage here, and your pelvis here. So with this shoulder, like I said, we're just catching the rhythms here. That's what you want to do. Just find the rhythms. Gesture drawing doesn't have to be pretty and very pristine. What you want to do is capture the motion, so you can understand what you're drawing better. I got a thumb right here, some fingers right here, you know. I venture to say you don't even have to draw the fingers. It's just something I just did there. Alright. So what I will do, since this leg, the leg on our right hand side is covering up that arm, let's draw the leg first. That way we can go ahead and anchor it in to the gesture here. So, and what I'll do, since the hamstring butt area is closest to us, you can catch the rhythm however you'd like, as long as you can find the rhythm. That's the most important thing. But I would do the hamstring area first, and then let's catch the knee. Knee will be right about there. And then we have a little bit of foreshortening here with the foot. Right. And just to show you, you can go either way with the rhythms here. Let's do the top of the knee and quad for this leg, and then round around the calf here, right, and then the foot. And like I said, you're just catching the flow of this figure. The shoulder kind of comes out right there, and see if the bicep went like that. So you can imagine that if the shoulder catches that rhythm, then the bicep would roll out this way, and then you'd have the forearm right here. And you can just draw like a square to symbolize that hand there. All right. So we have caught the rhythm here. We've caught the gesture of this drawing. And then after you catch the gesture, you could go ahead and, start to add detail if you wanted to. This would be like your thumbnail sketches, just sketches to get a better idea of what you're drawing. Or you could even use this to begin your drawings, if you want to start with the gesture first. I would suggest starting with figure drawing, but we will get to that in a later lesson. So let's do one more example of gesture drawing here. That way we can just have a good understanding of the line of motion and how to catch the rhythms and what the gesture will look like if you capture it in the right way. So if we were to use this pose here, let's start with the head like we've been doing. So we've started with the head. Now with this pose right here, I would go ahead and actually get a torso going, just so you can see what you're doing. The torso is a little tilted, so you won't be able to see all of it. So what is the line of motion here? It's kind of a funky pose, right? But I would say that the line of motion is essentially that. It's basically that right there. Draw arrow going both ways. That's essentially the line of motion for this drawing here. So let's go ahead and draw those shoulders in. Right, and just catching the rhythm here. Hands are a little bit closer to the screen, so they'll be a little bit bigger. We'll go over foreshortening too in a later video. So we're just catching the rhythm here. And that wraps around right there. Awesome. So if the torso is right here, the rib cage area, then the pelvis would be kind of intersects with it a little bit in this pose. So this would be the pelvis area. So for that front leg, kind of wraps around right here, and then you have a foot in the back. And for this back leg here, I would draw that quad, wrap that knee around, and catch that calf on the way out. You're just following the rhythms there. You're just finding the rhythms of these poses. And you got a foot right there. So these are just some basic examples of how to find gesture within your drawings. There's a lot of different ways you can go about it. I venture to say there is no right or wrong way to draw gestures. It's more so catching the rhythm, the line of motion, and the balance for your character. I feel like those are the most important things for drawing gestures. But that's going to be the end of this video here, and I will catch you guys on the next one.